Hello, 518ers. I really didn't want to do one of these live action things because it's embarrassing, but here I am in my study. Got my globe, got my old books. Down here is the PS4, the Xbox 360, and all the crap, but fortunately you can't see it. So, couple things, minor things about what you might not expect in the Bible. So, we saw the Garden of Eden thing here. I'm a little warped over here. Let me bring that down. Saw the Garden of Eden thing. Right? And there's the snake, and everybody knows the snake is the devil, right? But it never actually says that. And in fact, one of the things that really surprises people raised in the Christian tradition is that the devil doesn't really appear in the Old Testament at all. There's a mention of somebody named Lucifer in Isaiah, which everybody pretty much agrees is the king of Assyria. That's where the whole, Lucifer fallen from heaven business originally comes from. There's this guy that turns up in Job who's just called Satan, but he's clearly some sort of wisecracker angel. Doesn't seem to be related to the Satan in Christian theology. And most importantly, Jewish theology doesn't have Satan, doesn't have the devil. That's sort of a shocker. Who is this snake? What's he doing? Why is he talking? None of that's ever explained. Apparently, it doesn't matter that much. Apparently, the point is that for whatever reasons, Adam and Eve sinned. But still, it's sort of surprising. There's a couple other things that are really surprising for people raised in a Christian tradition, or just raised in, the West, where Christian ideas take over. Which is, okay, you got no devil, you also got no hell and no heaven. Judaism does not have an afterlife. What? Why would you be good then? You talk to Jews and they sort of have this sort of set of mushy notions, but it's not a central part of the theology the way it is in Christianity and in Islam and lots of religions. You don't do good so you'll go to heaven. The afterlife does not exist. You're doing good in this world. God doesn't promise people heaven. He promises people Abraham babies. He promises you your own country, and he promises you get to be a good person and called one of God's people, even though it's hard. But there is no afterlife in Judaism in the Old Testament. Furthermore, Judaism is not an evangelical religion the way Christianity is. People aren't running around trying to convert anyone. In fact, it's sort of the whole opposite idea, especially early in the Old Testament, where the whole idea is that these are God's special people. You only get to be one of God's special people if you're part of the line of Israel. Nobody else gets to be it. Boy, my hands look really big. It's bad. They're usually they're really big anyway. I'll hide them. So, oh, that looks better. All of these things are sort of surprising, and it's hard to wrap your mind around them. And why is this? Well, it's because the Bible is, in fact, two books with two religions. There is what Christians call the Old Testament and what Jews call the Holy Scriptures. Christians sort of are like, yeah, that's the old one. That's 1.0. You have the Jewish Bible, and then you have Christianity, which said, hey, we'll take that and we'll add something onto it. And now it's all ours. It's a very strange phenomenon. So when you're reading, you can sort of see why Jews would want to say, can't you get your own book? But you sort of see why Christians are so determined to have this typological reading we talked about, where like everything in the Old Testament refers to something in the New Testament, because they're sort of aware that that's kind of like a different religion. And so when we're reading the Bible, you sort of have to read it with like three things in mind. First, there's the Jewish version, in which Jesus is not going to show up. Then there's the Christian version, in which things refer to Jesus. And then there's the kind of double version, in which you're aware of this being a Jewish text and a Christian text at the same time. So the snake, that snake guy, apparently he's just a snake with legs, who's a wisecracker and can talk. I don't know why he's there. Maybe all the animals could talk. But just a snake.